in the city and
would there be
give people a
exceptions, for
ticket?
example? Somebody living at the end of a dead-end street, not on a school. In
What
other
are
words,
priorities?
Right. So there would have to be some type of prioritization of what needs to be enforced and what doesn't need to be enforced. Is that what?
And proactive enforcement versus reactive enforcement.
Right.
You know.
Do you need a complaint to
Would you like me to
ticket
comment
someone?
a little bit on the enforcement issue?
Yeah,
or
then I
do you
also
wanna
want to give Mariah a chance to
let's
jump
go
back
to
in.
Mariah first.
Okay, sure. Well, the first thing I think is a issue here is that the people with disabilities don't live just not on dead-end streets. And so access, and every time you have a curb cut, that needs to be cleared. So as I see it, the only opportunity for a city of almost 84,000 people to have all these sidewalks cleared is to have the residents out there shoveling and clearing the sidewalk. The city just doesn't have the resources. We don't have the funding.
What kind of exemptions would you see, if any? Maybe there would be no exemptions.
No, there would definitely be, the way other cities, I was just taking a look at snow ordinances in Brookline and Cambridge and Boston, they have waiver programs. And that is, for example, if somebody has a bad back and they have a disability, they're elder, persons with disabilities who are legally blind, they should have an option of having volunteers and other people coming in order to help out with clearing the sidewalk so that they can be in compliance, and plus you can get from curb cut to curb cut. Because what happens is I will be out in the street with a wheelchair and I will not be able to get onto the sidewalk unless the curb cuts are cleared. You can't climb over, you know, mountains of snow mountains. So the opportunity for the snow ordinance, sidewalk snow ordinance, to be focusing on residents, I think is a wonderful opportunity, because you have an entire city who will be looking at just a sidewalk in front of their house to clear it, and everyone will be pitching in and working as a team in order to clear it. So I see it as a larger issue that can be accomplished. As far as the citation part of it, I think that's something that can be worked out with different departments. I like what they have done in Colorado. They have this program that's called Ice Busters, and it's a group of volunteers. And I think Newton could create such a organization, a group, that would help for people who needed it.
Okay. Vicki, go ahead, and if you could clarify on what you were about to say.
We're looking into the whole issue of legality, and we're looking into enforcement. And enforcement is one of the most difficult issues to deal with, I think, in any municipality when it comes to things like snow. Brookline, for example, exempts people who simply step up, phone a number, and say, I can't do it myself because of X, Y, Z, and I really can't afford to have it done. And they're just exempted. If the city tries to get out and do it, if the city can do it, they do, and if not, they leave these people alone.
Talk about the fines real quick, because we only have, or potential fines, if something did go through, because we only have about 2 minutes left, believe it or not. This goes fast.
Potential fines, we're not doing this to make money for the city. We're doing this to try and increase compliance. So I would say that for the first year or more, there wouldn't be any fines. There would be notices to families reminding them that, to homeowners, reminding them that they are required to clear. If we were able, if we had, either with or without an ordinance, if we were able to increase the compliance to a point where people who are able to clear or able to afford to have it cleared did so, this city would be a much, much better, more walkable place than it is now. And so it's really it's finding a way to increase compliance with the shoveling of walks so that everybody can use the sidewalks.
Greer, what if, I assume when you're out talking with people, you get some discussions about this topic. Are you open to taking emails or call? How would you, or maybe there should be a public hearing to make it a little bit easier? Or
there have been 2 public hearings on this in the past couple of years. I think we always welcome public.
With both of you that are on the snow committee, feel that it could be a good idea to maybe allow additional discussion? Do you think we've really heard it all? Let me just touch base with Greer just for a second.
Yeah.
I really think that, you know, a lot of the discussion has been on whether or not that we have a snow ordinance, and it's become sort of a yes or no on the ordinance when the ultimate objective is we just want clear sidewalks. I think what I'd really like to hear from people is what other ideas do people have? Nobody seems to be in disagreement that we need sidewalks that are walkable. I don't think I've heard from anybody says, who uses those things anyway? Why do we need to clear them? Nobody's ever said that, okay? So I think what we really, what I've really found that's been, in my opinion, more useful and that might get us closer, whether we end up with an ordinance or not, closer to accessible walkways, is having people really think it through, you know, thinking about what it's like trying to get a wheelchair through one of those sidewalks, getting an overall community agreement that we need these places clear. I think having that awareness is really going to bring us, because, you know, I hear about stories of neighborhoods where somebody loves to go down the sidewalk and they just clear for their whole neighborhood. And in fact, they probably wouldn't do it if it was an ordinance, because then it becomes a job instead of a favor. Right now, they got brownie points for doing it, you know?
What street do they live on? Because I'd like to buy a house.
Right on their street.
Right on that street. That's the section of Newton that I'd like to live.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's one of those things. There are people, it used to be a neighborly thing that you do, and correct me if I'm wrong, John, but I believe the reason that the ordinance got lifted in 1993 is we had an incident where a gentleman trying very hard to comply to the law up and had a heart attack.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, we'll save that for another time because we are out of time. I will say that the mayor is working on this. I know that you folks have and will be meeting with the mayor again, as pretty much everybody is in government. New chance to do new things, so whether there's an ordinance or whether there is not an ordinance, either way, we've got to get these sidewalks cleared up.
Right.
I mean, can we at least agree on that?
Yes.
We're all in agreement on that.
Thank you.
Love it. All right. So I just want to say thank you to our guests, Alderman and Snow Committee Chair Vicki Danberg, Alderman Greer Tan-Swiston, also on the Snow Committee, former Alderman John Stewart from Newton Lower Falls, and Marian Amaral from Citizens for Access. Thank you, everybody, for coming. For those of you that are interested in following local government, you've got a way to do it. You can remember that all Board of Aldermen meetings are live on New TV's Government channel. The program is scheduled at various times. newtv.org has the info. You're also encouraged to show up at City Hall. All the meetings are fully open to the public. You're genuinely welcome to attend. The better you're informed, the better decisions that you have the ability to make. Meanwhile, if you've got a business that's community-minded and you'd like to support this program, it's a nonprofit thing, so you can visit newtonnewsmakers.org. This program will be repeated throughout the month right here on New TV, the schedule as well as the program itself available in its entirety. Online on demand, 24/7, newtonnewsmakers.org. That's it for this month. We'll see you next time for another edition of Newton Newsmakers.
Newton Newsmakers is made possible through the generous support of First Commons Bank, Beacon Street in Newton Center, representing the future of banking with an inviting environment, the latest banking technologies, and a personal touch to make banking convenient, simple, and sensible. Also at firstcommonsbank.com.